shout out and thanks to Rashad for joining me for another review of a musical. Now, the whole reason why we did this in the first place is because a while back Rashad asked me to review 3 mafia films, specifically the Godfather films, because I have that hot take that I don't like gangster or mafia films in general. You can see those reviews over on his channel right now, by the way, but I thought to myself, how do I get back at him? I thought, what's the opposite of a gangster or mafia film? I thought to myself, yes, musical. I don't know. So that's why we reviewed 3 musicals on my channel, being Dear Evan Hansen, The Prom, and Tick Tick Boom. But I thought we were done. I thought that was it. We did our thing and we go on our lives and everything. But then he goes ahead and sends me a couple more gangster films to watch, one of them being The Warriors. Again, you can watch that review over on his channel. So I guess back to musicals it is, and I thought the best way to do this is to watch a movie that neither of us has seen before. Something brand new starring Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, something that's in the Christmas spirit. We're talking about Spirited. So Spirited is essentially just a Christmas Carol again, and it's a musical version of A Christmas Carol, but it's done a little bit differently because in this variation, the very idea that 3 spirits visit some really bad people, it's a business. You have spirits that track down people that need to be saved, and when they fall upon Ryan Reynolds' character, they think to themselves, what a perfect opportunity, because he is what they deem to be unredeemable. And they've only ever done that once in the past. Alright, so once again, huge thanks to Rashad for joining me in this one. We'll be hearing what he thought about Spirited in just a hot second. But first, my thoughts. Okay, so honestly, I had a lot of fun with this movie. I didn't think I would, because when it first came out, I did watch a few minutes of it, and I wasn't really digging it. A part of that was because I was just kind of busy, I wasn't in the mood, so I turned it off, which is probably the best thing that I could do, given the fact that I actually thought this film was great. I actually think it's the most original variation of A Christmas Carol that we've ever gotten, at least since Scrooged with Bill Murray. It's filled with a lot of great Christmas spirit, a lot of great laughs, and honestly, a surprising amount of surprises. Even though the story was basically just following your basic Christmas Carol narrative and structure, it was doing it in such a way that I didn't know what was going to happen next. I found myself really second-guessing myself quite a bit here because it definitely took quite a few creative liberties in this character, specifically Ryan Reynolds, who is not acting so much like Scrooge as he's acting like a self-aware person, like, oh, okay, we're doing the Christmas Carol thing, oh, great, let's just get on with it. Like, he's not acting as shocked and scared and bewildered as a normal person would be in this situation. That makes it much more intriguing as to the direction the film takes. But I do like what they were going for. I definitely like the chemistry that he has with Will Ferrell. The music itself wasn't too shabby. If I had to kind of tell you what type of music it was, I would say that it's kind of theatrical. It's almost like it was done on a stage. It feels Broadway-ish. It doesn't feel so much cinematic as you might find with a lot of musicals these days. It definitely feels like whoever was writing the music has a history in writing for Broadway. And obviously Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds don't do a lot of musicals, like, ever. But it's also not that surprising that they have a nice voice, and not only that, but when they sing together, it sounds nice. And the reason why this isn't so much as a surprise is because last year they had that viral TikTok going around with them singing that one song.
I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like.
That went around like wildfire, and I'm now thinking that technically, it was probably marketing for this film without them telling you that. Because look at what Will Ferrell is wearing. He's wearing like an old-timey suit. When I first saw it, I thought, are they making like Sherlock and Watson 2? And if so, why? That one bombed so hard, because that's kind of what he was wearing. But now I understand. Like, he wears the same thing in this movie, and obviously they sing. But yeah, I really found myself getting into this film. I really found myself getting into the Christmas spirit found at the heart of this film, to the point where I could definitely see myself turning this movie on every few Christmas seasons. Maybe not every year, but if I'm in the mood for like a musical or something, I might turn this one on because it's funny, it's lighthearted, There's a lot of chemistry in it, and atmospherically, it definitely feels like a Christmas Carol should feel. I honestly think that it's one of the best Christmas Carol movies out there. It doesn't really beat the classics when it comes down to Christmas Carol, but when it comes down to more comedic variations of it, this is right up there with Scrooge. Now, let's hear what Rashad had to say about Spirited. Take it away, man.
Dave, what's the deal? Pickles, is everything kosher? So thank you once again for inviting me on your channel. And I know this has got to be a little payback for you. At least that's what I was thinking going into this. I said, okay, I got him with the Warriors. He doesn't like gangster movies, so he's going to throw me another musical my way. And come to find out this is a musical. Now, mind you, I walked into this movie blind, knowing nothing, see no trailer. All I know is Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell. I said, I don't think I might hate this. You know, Dave's trying to get revenge on me, but this is not a good start because I'm a fan of both of these two. So here it is. I hit play. And like I said, going to this completely blind. I feel like sometimes the best movie experiences when you just walk into it knowing completely nothing, just hit play, lock in, let's go. Spirited starts, and almost immediately I said, oh, okay, this is another rendition of A Christmas Carol. I can dig it. I mean, who hasn't seen at least one rendition of A Christmas Carol? You have Jim Carrey's Christmas Carol, you have Scrooge with Bill Murray, hell, you even have Mickey Mouse's Christmas Carol, okay, which is one of my favorites. So I said, okay, you know, same story, different twist, let's see how this goes. And Dave, I'm gonna have to say, man, if this was your time for revenge, you failed because I enjoyed this movie. That was so fucking childish. Yeah, I enjoy this movie, but it is a little long. And tell me if I'm tripping, Dave, but one thing I'm noticing that I'm seeing a lot is that this movie was way too long. It could have trimmed a lot of fat off of this. I don't know what it is. Like, nowadays, it seems like movies are too long. You know what I mean? I guess because I come from a time where the sweet spot for a film was like an hour 30 to like an hour 46 minutes. Sometimes you go an hour 59. But I feel like a 2-hour runtime on a Christmas Carol movie is just a little long. Yeah, maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. But I'm just finding that now just with this movie, but with a lot of movies this year. I mean, I feel like unless your last name ends with Cameron or Spielberg or Tarantino, like one of the big dogs, your film has no business being that long. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if it's an action-packed, like Michael Bay Transformers, like, come on, don't make it over 2 hours long. So anyways, this movie was a fun time, had a lot of heart, had a lot of charm to it. It's the same story, but this time Ryan Reynolds is in the part of the Scrooge character, and Will Ferrell is like the, I guess, the supervisor or the team leader of all the ghosts. And I gotta say, I love the chemistry between those two because there were times where I was laughing. I mean, to me, Will Ferrell is just one of the funniest people on this earth. I mean, he doesn't even have to do a whole lot. He could just stand there and just look, and I start laughing. Some people just have that ability where you just look at them and start laughing, and Will Ferrell is one of those people, okay? So there were times between the two that I was laughing, and, excuse me, like I said, the movie had a lot of heart to it, but one thing I did find weird, and not because I'm not down with interracial dating or whatever, that's not it, but it was weird seeing the love story kind of between Octavia Spencer and Will Ferrell. It didn't make sense. It didn't fit. It's almost as awkward as I'm sweating. Yo, I'm sorry if I'm sweating. Yo, I just got out of the shower, so my face may be a little red. I'm sweating a little bit because you know, yeah, hot showers do that. But this was almost as awkward as early this year where Adam Sandler was married to Queen Latifah. That's just a weird combination. I don't know. They even have a scene where they kissed, and the kiss was so awkward and just cringy. I'm like, Octavia Spencer, Ma, from the movie Ma, that was, you know, torturing all those kids, and Anchorman. Okay. The musical numbers worked, and as you know, I'm not the biggest fan of musicals, but the musical numbers did work when they happened, but I feel like they kind of stopped after a while because, like, the first 30 minutes of the movie seemed like there was, like, a lot of musical numbers, and maybe, yeah, okay, there were a few more, but they were, like, really stretched out, so there wasn't, like, every few minutes, like a couple of the musicals you gave me. Like, it was kind of few and far in between, which is cool because that gives us time to get to these characters, get to know the story and everything, which is a familiar story. But I just feel like sometimes you can have too many musical numbers and it kind of messes up the whole dynamic of the movie, you know. So damn, I'm sweating like crazy. What the hell? I guess these lights don't help none either. Golly. So yeah, not a whole lot to say. Fun movie, fun time. This movie has the Christmas spirit. And it's funny because right before I watched this, I watched Santa with Muscles starring Hulk Hogan for a collab I'm doing with Mike on Did You See That? So when I started this, I'm like, this better not be another dumb Christmas movie, and it wasn't. This movie got me even more into the Christmas spirit. I love the story of A Christmas Carol, and this movie did it right. Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell worked well off each other. Tracy Morgan as the ghost of Christmas future, I guess. He is a voice. He was funny because Tracy Morgan's just funny. Like, he could just say just any little thing that's funny. Like, you know, like Frank's ballpark Franks. You want any ballpark Franks? You know, with that New York accent. So wrapping this up, y'all, I give Spirited a B+. Fun Christmas movie. This is one you can watch with the whole family. It's not very vulgar. There's some curse words here and there, but just a fun family movie that you can watch together for Christmas. And that's it, and that's all. So, Dave, thank you for inviting me once again on the channel, bro. Looking forward to our next collab. This is Rashad G signing out. See you in the next video.
Thank you to Rashad for joining me in my review of Spirited. I've left links, of course, to his channel in my description box below for y'all to check out. Send him some love, tell him who sent you, because, guys, this guy does not hold back when it comes down to all of his reviews. He just lets it all loose, you know? He lets out what he thinks about a movie. He doesn't care what anybody thinks, which is fantastic. You can go over his channel, you can see our reviews for Godfather, or you can check out our reviews a while back for other stuff, such as the Indiana Jones movies. Yeah, but yeah, go check them out. Basically, man, we are pretty much aligned in what we think about this movie. We both really, really enjoyed it. We both thought it was funny at times. I definitely laughed out loud quite a few times in this movie. A big part of that really is the chemistry that you find between Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds. Part of it is the meta approach that some of these songs take. Like, they start singing and some of the characters are like, dude, stop singing. Why are you singing? I love that. But I will agree with you as well, saying that a part of it definitely felt a little bit lengthy. And yes, it is a little bit over 2 hours long, and I'm not really inclined to agree with you in terms of what makes a movie long. Like, for me, it's more along the lines of if it's 2.5 hours plus, I'm going to be really scratching my head as to if I want to watch the movie or not, regardless on if it's any good, because if it's that long, I gotta commit some time, you know? I don't think the run time of Spirited is long, but you do feel the length because it just has a lot going on. And kind of like what you said with the Octavia Spencer love story, I didn't really feel it either. They didn't have enough screen time together to grow it and to develop it in a way that actually makes sense. Because technically when they share the screen together in this movie, it's not bad. Like, you definitely sense a friendship chemistry there, but it needed to bloom in order to be a full romantic attraction. And yeah, that kiss in the movie was kind of awkward. They like kiss off to the side because the actors probably didn't actually want to kiss full on. And you can tell when you watch it. I don't know. It's like if you were making the movie and you're like, yes, the scene has to happen, okay? We need closure on this part of their characters and whatever. It needs to happen. But boy, oh boy, was it not developed enough to get to that point. Thankfully, that's just a small complaint, though, because I think that everything else that actually needed to happen in the movie was done relatively well. Lots of great choreography and the dancing. The songs were consistent in the way that you want musicals to be consistent. When comparing Christmas Carol musicals, I think I probably still prefer Scrooge over Spirited. I think that that's a lot more iconic. I think that that's a lot more nostalgic and much more in line with the true classic Christmas Carol story. But honestly, this isn't far behind it. I really did enjoy it a lot. So let's take a look at what I scored A Christmas Carol. Spirited, which was an A- letter grade final overall score of 88%. 88 out of 100 possible stars, which is a pretty darn good score. I think in general it's that high because I can't find a lot of faults with it other than what you and I complained about, Rashad, which was the fact that the pacing sometimes felt long and sometimes that, you know, that weird chemistry between Octavia Spencer and Will Ferrell, that didn't work all the time. But I don't really have any other negatives. I don't really have anything to add to what Rashad said because we were both pretty much in alignment here of what we liked, what we didn't like, all that. So if you guys have not seen Spirited, I think you should. I think that if you're looking for something new to watch this Christmas season that kind of strays away from everything that we've seen in the past, all those traditional movies that we see every year, I think that this will fit right in. I think that it'll make you feel that Christmas spirit, make you feel warm and gooey inside when you watch. That's it, guys. If you have seen Spirited already, please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to be notified when I come out with the next review. Or my next collab with Rashad, who knows? And until then, peace out.